President would like to speak. Devin Scotty with Serenity Treatment Center. Maria Min. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I told you got to get me. Mario. And I'll let you just introduce yourselves. How about that?
Good afternoon. My name is Devin. I'd like to thank the House and for allocating the $14 million last year for substance abuse treatment. We asked that it be reoccurring. Substance abuse is getting rampant lately. We're seeing younger children come in. They're mixing the drugs with a lot of different things, so they're having to have longer detox period. I'm a recovering alcoholic myself. Me and Scotty was actually in treatment together. Substance abuse is real important to our younger generation. I grew up in an impoverished neighborhood, was introduced to drugs at a young age. I've been shot twice in the head. I've been shot twice in the chest. I've been to prison 5 times. I was introduced to the same treatment center that I went to, the Serenity Treatment Center. There I learned about the nature of my disease. It wasn't until 1962 that the American Medical Association classified alcoholism as a disease. I was taught about the disease of alcoholism when I went into treatment, and that was approximately 8 years ago. Since then, I've changed my life. I went back to school. I got me a bachelor's degree. I'm currently in the master's degree program. I have my master's degree at the end of this year, and I'm the program director at the same treatment center I graduated from 8 years ago. This is how substance abuse has affected my life. We're seeing the 8 years ago, when they had treatment, people would come in and it would be classified as a 3.5, which is a residential treatment. But now, as the years pass, with the induction of fentanyl, and they're being classified at 3.7 with more mental health, they having to stay in detox for a longer period of time before they can transition to a 3.5. With the institution of crystal meth, they're making this crystal meth with all kind of different chemicals, so they're coming in under psychosis, and they're staying in psychosis for approximately a month before they can even transition into a 28-day residential treatment program. So it's costing us more to provide the services that's necessary for them. I want to thank you guys for allocating the $14 million for substance abuse treatment, and we ask that you continue to be passionate about this thing called recovery, because younger people, just the other day, I had to have a talk with my 16-year-old about marijuana. They're putting marijuana in fentanyl. I have a friend whose son uses marijuana occasionally. She has to buy fentanyl tests for her son to test the marijuana in. This thing is getting ridiculous, and our kids' life are at stake here. Thank y'all so much.
Good morning. My name is Scotty Thompson. As Devin said, we represent the Serenity Treatment Center. I'm a plant operations supervisor, transportation supervisor. And just to go a little further with it, once they get out of detox and they go to the 28-day, then we offer what's called our IOP, the Intensive Outpatient Program, where we provide transportation for them freely. What it is 28 days is never long enough for anybody. So with the IOP, we provide transportation from the sober living houses and some residents. Then now we've offered another program called OP, which is the outpatient, which allows our clients to get more of a family-oriented, instead of saying, okay, you've done 28 days, you're cured. We know that this disease does not work but 28 days. Then we go further. Now we're working more with the judicial system, to where we're helping people when they're in drug court or whatever and they mess up. We're bringing them into the facility. We're taking them to court. We're taking them here. We're taking them to doctors. All this has to be funded. Right now, our owner, Mr. Arie Bossman, he's the one who foots the bill for transportation. we're moving into now where we're trying to allow our clients to have a better feel of where they're going at in life. Like Devin said, me and him graduated together 8 years ago. Of course, I'm from a little town called Opelousas. It's so rampant out there. You know, the crime rate is so high, everything. So when I go and I talk to him, I said, you know, let's try to help each other, get each other here. So unless people can relate, because a lot of people talk, but if I can't be relatable to that person, if they can't say, well, I remember you were there, Scotty, you know, so I know you're not just telling me something. Because when you have a vision, in order to have a vision, you have to have a testimony. So I'm so grateful. I remember last year we sat right here, me and Devin, and it was so I appreciate y'all is the words I'm looking for. Because to come back and to do this again is more meaningful than what y'all know. Thank y'all.
My name is Mario. I also work for Serenity Center. In 2005, my vehicle in Iraq was hit with a suicide car bomb, and I hurt my neck. They started me on pain medication, and this pain medication led to the use of other drugs as it progressed. In 2018, 7 years ago, I went to the same treatment center where these two guys who I'm sitting with went through, and they would come and share their stories with me. I became a residential counselor at a treatment facility. I've been a counselor for 4 years. Today, I'm in the business development department of Serenity Center. I got full custody. In the midst of my addiction, in the 13 years that I spent in active addiction, I lost literally everything. I also did multiple stints in jail and lost custody of all my children. I'm proud to say today that I've been having full custody of my daughter for the last 4 years. A year and a half ago, addiction took her mom from her. So now I get to watch. Not only do I know what it's like to be an addict, but I get to watch what a child goes through when they lose a loved one to this disease. I want to thank all of you for the hard work that you are doing on this matter, and thank y'all for having us here today.
All right, we got some questions. Vice Chairman Hughes.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll be brief. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you all for just having the courage to be here and to openly talk about addiction. You know, addiction, if we want to be honest, it touches all of us either directly or indirectly in some way, and it's a very lengthy and sometimes tough journey. But I appreciate you all talking so openly about it and sharing your testimonies. And I know my two brothers on the end, y'all were here last year. I remember you being here, and I thank you for your steadfastness and your dedication to this issue, and thank you for continuing to come. And just want to reiterate that we hear you loud and clear. I appreciate all three of y'all. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
All right, Representative Marcel.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And I don't know if you've heard, maybe some of the freshmen may not know, but I've been in recovery for over 25 years.
Friend of
And
Bill.
so I truly understand what it's like. And I truly understand the services that you all talk about, that you give to people. And what I don't know about is this new fentanyl and all of this stuff, which is even worse
Yes, ma'am.
than what I was dealing with. And so I just want to tell you that as we make laws to give people stiffer sentences for fentanyl, which I think is horrific, we certainly need to help those who find themselves on these drugs. And the work that you all do help to provide that. And I certainly appreciate it. And just want everybody to know that, I mean, addiction doesn't have a certain face on it or a certain color. It's not a Democrat, it's not a Republican, it's not old, it's not young. We come in all colors and shape, forms, and fashion. And I'm getting ready to write my book and tell my story. So y'all stay tuned for that. But I want people to understand, and some people may be in recovery and don't want to talk about it. But I think if you don't tell your testimony, you don't help anybody. So I want people to understand that I'm sitting here now, but I was out there 20 plus years ago. And so I get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Devin, Mario, and Scotty. See, I got it right that time.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'm a quick learner, contrary to what people believe. I think it's important that everyone remembers that these services, the additional dollars that were put in last year, and why it's vital to make sure we put them back in this year, is those opportunities of recovery, and then to tell that story does influence others and encourages them. It gives them, I believe, a glimpse of hope. There's not a family that I believe, if it is, I mean, you might be unique, but there's not a family here today, probably even in this room, that hasn't been touched by some form of addiction. And that if truly we wanted to confess and really say on our own individually, each one of us have had some type of obstacle in our life that we had to overcome. Representative Marcel shared hers, and so I hope that encourages you to keep up the good fight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all.